Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ben and I'm a photographer and videographer based in North Wales. I have finally released my brand new 2020 Adobe Lightroom preset pack, and this is the video to accompany them. This has been a little while in the works. I've just been working away, finally tweaking these presets. Some of them I've had on the go for maybe a year or so. Some of them I've made completely from scratch in the last couple of weeks. So in this video I'm just going to run through some of the presets with some sample images. Now you have to bear in mind that presets can be a fantastic way to learn how to edit. One of my favourite things to do when I first started editing was buying people's presets and then reverse engineering them to try and find out what they did to get that look. Please do bear in mind that a preset is not a one-click fix. In some very rare cases it might just work straight away, but very often you just need to look at a preset as a starting point and then finely tune the image after that. And of course, editing and photography in general is completely subjective. So what I think looks good, you might think looks absolutely horrible. And likewise, what you think looks good, I might think is a little bit too much or too little. So to start with, I'm going to show you, once you've bought some presets, how to install them. So we're in Lightroom right here. If we just go to the top under Lightroom Classic, this is Lightroom Classic by the way, although these presets can also be imported into Lightroom CC, Lightroom Mobile, and I'll show you how to do that as well. But in Lightroom Classic, we'll go up to the top menu and into Lightroom Classic Preferences, and under the Presets tab we can come down here to Show Lightroom Develop Presets, and that will take us into the Finder window where the settings are. So we go into there, and that is all of our current presets. So once you've downloaded the preset file, they'll be in your downloads. So I'll bring that up here just to show you. Now these at the moment are in a zip file, so now I'll just double click that to export the folder, and there it is. We can go in there and check that all the presets are in there, and then all we have to do is drag that into the develop settings folder and then close Lightroom, and then once we reopen it, those settings will be in there. Obviously in my case I already had the presets in there, so it makes no difference. And then in the case of Lightroom CC or Photoshop Lightroom, whatever you want to call it, the new one, all we have to do is go into the program, and then under the develop module you'll see presets right at the bottom. Click on there, and right at the top there's a little menu tab. Click on that and go to import presets. And then in your case all you'll have to do is search in the search bar, or if you know where it is, just go to the directory. We're going to search for Famau, and in your case you'll have the folder fresh in today's memory, Famau Media Lightroom presets. In this case they're here, but then you just have to click import and they'll appear. Okay, so let's run through a few images. So I'll open my presets folder there, Famau Media, and you can see in here I've got 13 presets. You guys will get 12 presets because one of them is just for my YouTube studio thumbnails. So first off here I've got an image of Famau, the namesake of my company. So all we have to do in the develop module is we can just hover over each preset and it will give us a preview of what the image would look like with that preset applied. So if we hover over Ash to start with, you can see instantly how much that changes. It's a lot more contrasty, there's a nice bit more detail in the mountain and in the clouds as well, and along with contrast you get saturation. If we go to the next image, this is from near enough the same spot, it's taken on the same mountainside, and again let's just hover over Ash. You can instantly see the difference right there, can't you? But then let's also scroll through some of the other presets. I've got two different black and white presets here. One is quite a mild one. It's almost sort of following the look of Ilford HP5 Plus film, and then I've got a much more punchier, contrasty one as well. Scroll down to Fleetwith, named after Fleetwith Pike, and then we can just carry on going through them. We've got Garlic, Heather and Pine, Idwal, Mountain Mist, Powder, Slabs, and finally is my YouTube one, which doesn't look great on there. And that's exactly what I mean. Some presets will look horrible depending on the image. So in this case, I think I'm going to go with the Fleetwith preset. Even though we're hundreds of miles away from Fleetwith Pike, I'm going to use that one. And then I think I might actually add a gradient over there and just bring the exposure of the sky back up a little bit. And then we'll crop. I quite like a 4x5 crop. Boom, there's the original and there's the edit. Moving on, this is a shot of my good friend Callum. This is on full fidelity, again, as were the last two images. We'll again just cycle through some of these presets. Some of them you might only notice a very subtle difference. Some of them there'll be an instant change. So we'll start with Ash, and flick through the black and whites. Now I actually quite like this one here. So I'm going to click on Slabs. And then from there, this is by no means a finished image, but it's a starting point. You can see the difference in the golden light hitting the side of the mountains in the background and on the back of Callum's jacket as well. So from here, I'm just going to crop it to start with, back of my 4x5, and also straighten it out a little bit. That will do is, might just adjust the tone curves a little bit more. Get another mask over here. And I could keep going on that one, but look at the difference there. That was about 20 seconds of editing. Now, next image. So this is a very extreme case. We've got a huge amount of contrast in terms of highlights and shadows. So I actually developed this preset called Balance Exposure, which in this case doesn't do a huge lot, but we'll apply it. If we zoom in, we actually do have some detail in Callum's jacket already here. If you go back to the original, you can't see a thing at all, can you? But then what I could carry on doing there is boost the shadows up a bit more, and I can bring a gradient in and give it a luminance mask, only affecting the brightest areas of the image. Again, we'll go with 4x5 crop, and again I could carry on going, but that's the original and that's the edited image. So the balance exposure preset is literally exactly what it sounds like. Literally all I've done with that one is adjust the tone curve. Now I use this far more often when I'm doing wedding edits. All too often I find myself indoors, which is really quite dark, next to big open windows in these fancy hotels and stuff. So there's light streaming in through the window, but it's really dark indoors, and it's near impossible to get all that dynamic range in there. So I'll start off using that balance exposure preset and then work my way from there, adding a bit of contrast and saturation, and does the job for me. Next image. This is a picture in the train station, obviously. Now the ash preset, we've already seen it in the mountains. Now I actually love using the ash preset in city environments, especially cities like Liverpool, where there's a lot of nice red brick and stuff around. This photo isn't in Liverpool itself, but it's Merseyside, it's on the Wirral. But we'll just click the ash preset and boom, I love that. I could quite happily leave it there. Especially in terms of street photography, I think it's much more about using the light and using contrast in an image to really try and make it interesting. but just look how much the colour in the red brick is really boosted as well. There's a massive difference. I absolutely love it. And another example here, this is my friend Michael. This is in Liverpool in the hotel. So one thing that I'll note is I do not touch white balance in these images. With any luck, you got it bang on in camera. Vast majority of the time, even if you're using auto white balance, nowadays the camera's going to do a pretty good job. But in this case it is a little bit off. You can see it's a little bit yellowy and greenish. So I'm going to do it manually by hitting W for white balance and then using the white paint on the side of the stairs here. Boom, fixed. And then we'll add the ash preset again. Again, you can see how much contrast it adds as well as saturation. So yeah, I absolutely love using this one for street work. This next one, again, in the streets in Liverpool, that's the Radio City Tower in the background there. This actually works very well with the punchy black and white. So if you just hover over it, I think that looks really good straight away. If we compare that to the mild one, you can see how much of a difference there is there. In the case of this image, I also really love the sunburst coming in past the wall, and in my opinion the punchy black and white works really well. So next image, this is in Comidwell, and as you might have guessed, it's from Comidwell that I developed the Idwell preset. So we're going to just slap that straight on. That looks pretty nice. So what I'm going to do straight off here is do my crop. So I'll make it a 4x5 crop and have it about there, I think. Then I'll also add a gradient over the sky, like so. I'll add a luminosity mask to that, so that I'm only affecting the sky. I can just choose the brighter areas, so it's not darkening down the actual mountain face of Phantom Wen in the background there. That looks decent, I think. And honestly, I'd probably leave it around about there. I might play around a little more with contrast just to see what it does. Maybe a little more on the texture, and then there we go. I really like that. Now this is another image from Comidwell, but this is looking into Comidwell up at Devil's Kitchen. And these slabs here at the top, that is where I developed the slabs preset. So to start with, we'll add the Idwell preset, see what that does. That looks a bit cold and blue really for my liking, but we'll add the slabs preset. Look at that, nice and warm, really nice bit of colour in the vegetation and stuff. And honestly, I think all I'd do here is do my crop. So 4x5, around about there. I'd be pretty happy with that image. Now here, this is a still from my Clickainog video a few weeks ago, and I know pretty much straight away with this one, because there's a lot of rock, i.e. the dry stone wall, I am pretty certain that the Fleet Width preset will work quite well on here. So we'll go over and click on Fleet Width. I really like that. Because we've got this nice walking sign here, we can get our white balance off there. Just like so. So that is technically more correct. But I'm just going to warm it up again a little bit. And then otherwise, I really like that. That is very much in my sort of style of editing. Now, Astro. In this pack I have one preset specifically for astro photography, and that is the Bortle 4 preset. It's named as such because here where I live in the Clwydyn Valley, we are in a Bortle 4 light pollution area, which is a pretty good rating to be fair. So this is the raw image out of the camera. This is looking west. I think in this one you can actually see one meteor as well, just in the middle there. But I've not done anything to this image yet. Now let's click on the Bortle 4 preset, and instantly you can see just how much clearer those stars are. It really cuts through a lot of the hazy highlights that you can see over this way. This is mainly coming from the town over here, Denby, and yeah, it just really cuts through any sort of haze. Your stars are looking a lot more clear against a much darker background as well. So yeah, that is my general Astro preset. And then finally, let's have a look at this one. This right here is Wild Garlic, and of course that's what I named my garlic preset after. So this image originally, it was underexposed quite a bit because I forgot to change my exposure compensation dial. So to start with, I'm just going to add my one stop extra, and that is pretty much evenly exposed. And then we'll add the garlic preset. How much of a difference does that make? This preset is very much directed at the greens in an image. You can also tell that the whites look a lot nicer and clearer. There's a bit more texture in the image, and I think it looks absolutely lovely. So this preset will work very well if you've got a lot of greens in the image, especially like right now during springtime. And that is it really. I'm not going to show you every single one in detail. It's up to you to figure out how these things work. Like I say, it's a great idea to try and reverse engineer presets to try and find out how they were made, how that particular look was accomplished, and it can be a really great learning curve for you. There's 12 presets in there and that costs £12. But right now, as of release of this video today, for 2 weeks I'm going to be charging £9.50. On purchase you get a link to download the file. I would suggest, if you have Dropbox or just external hard drives, make copies of that file as well, just so you don't lose it. And then follow the installation guide on this video and get playing, get editing, see what you can do with them. These presets are designed for a whole host of different images really, in different lighting situations, with different colours, different everything. So like I say, some of them might look rubbish on certain images, some of them on a very rare occasion might just be a one-click fix and your image is sorted. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you've watched all the way through, I'm guessing there's a good chance you may well have bought the presets already, in which case thank you very much. I've worked very hard on these presets for quite a while now, and it's great to finally get them up and available to you lot. And I'm going to leave it there. Again, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting this channel, especially at a time like this. It is a very hard time financially. If you want to see more of my videos, please do click subscribe down in the bottom corner, as well as the notification bell. Give it a like if you liked it, drop a comment if you've bought the presets, I'd love to thank you personally, and also leave a comment if you've got any questions at all. And until next time, thank you again, be good, stay safe, get creating, and I'll see you in the next video.